moment!
Shame.
What a moment in professional sports. Now let me ask you this question. That was just described as one of the most despicable moments in the history of professional wrestling.
That's
the
right.
three men who were involved sitting.
Bill, would you want to be in their shoes if you were? Would you want to be in their shoes, Bill?
Hey, Lou, I can count back a few years where you led me to do a few despicable.
Well, you know something? Maybe I've seen a light now, Ken.
Here's a man that.
Well, you can stay right with that man, and maybe now I've seen a light.
Here. Are you envious?
Well, let me tell you something. Bill, excuse me for 1 minute. Maybe it's because I've been involved with Cyndi Lauper and David Wolf with this multiple sclerosis thing that has changed me to see the light. But I want to tell you something now. To me, it is despicable. To me, it's disgusting. To me, it's disgraceful. And I'm going to give credit, perhaps, to David Wolf and Cyndi Lauper for helping me see the light, and Hulk Hogan coming at my side saying, Captain, you're doing a lot for MS. Well, maybe that has helped me to change.
Ken, what are some of the things he asked you to do over the years?
Some real low-life things.
Really? Like what? Like what?
Well, look at the man.
Well, can you recall specifically any of the things?
Is he the height of intelligence?
Yeah, Pedro Morales, the Intercontinental Belt. He had a match with me. I stuffed the belt down his throat and up somewhere else. And a few things. I beat the living legend, beat the greatness out of the living legend, Bruno Sammartino, under Lou Albano's guidance.
Hallucinating.
There's hallucinating, Lou. You knew that I'm the man that could get the job done. That's why you came to me.
Bill, I did manage
Right, true or false, Lou?
feeling that he was a great
You know how great of an athlete I am.
Well, I'll give you a chance. Yes, he is a great athlete, but I want to tell you something now. He's also a great, I would call him a liar, as far as stating the fact. He was a great athlete, and he is a great athlete. But what I'm saying is, Bill, he's bringing up the past, which is already gone. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about right now.
You're talking about what you did. About Ken Patera, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and the only true giant in professional wrestling today, Big John Studd. That's who we should be talking about.
Are you proud of what you did, Andre?
Continue talking about right now.
Are you proud of what you did, Andre?
Andrea, let's say, Andrea. When we had the man down flat on his back, he was only that tall.
Well, I guess 3-on-1, it would take, 3-on-1.
A midget.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, the three of you with all together as a
No, it
combined
wasn't the
effort.
three of us. It was John Studd and Ken Patera.
Yeah, well,
Neither one of
company
us could have done it at any one time by ourselves.
Whose idea was that to
Probably Bobby Heenan, yeah, he thinks great.
once again,
He's a fine humanitarian, yeah.
tremendous concept.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of myself. You have to answer to a lot of people, probably, in your life.
No, I don't have to answer to anybody.
Well, I don't know how your life goes. I could care less. I don't know who you answer to. Only thing I care about is once a day my stockbroker calls me, tell me I'm doing fine. That's all I care about. As long as this man's happy and this man's happy and I'm happy, I'm happy. It's that simple.
A couple of things that people wanted me to ask you guys about, and that is to talk a little bit about what happens in a steel cage match. What that is.
It's hell.
Well, explain what it is and kind of describe it.
Well, they usually put something like that together when two people like, say, Andre the Giant and John Studd, say they've had it out, and they've had it out, but there's never been a clear-cut decision. And this feud has gone on and on. Well, they figured the one thing the people will like, and the only way to settle this is put them in a steel cage, padlock that door, and the best man wins. That's the only way to settle it. And that's usually what happens. Only one usually walks out of there, and the other one's carried out. They call AAA, and it's all over with.
It's one of the most dangerous encounters, Bill, because you've got a 12-foot steel cage around that ring, and if you look at playground fights, you can notice the little edges on the wire.
Yeah, that's what you said.
And every time you run, I've been involved in several, and every time you run a man's face against that, it's bound to lacerate him and cut him up. And it's the idea is to get over the top of the steel cage or through the door. It's one of the most dangerous matches in professional wrestling.
You injured the medulla of your oblongata several years ago.
I've had some trouble because of steel cage matches.
What would you say over the history, not just 1985 now, but the history of professional wrestling, including now, what have some of the great rivalries been?
Oh, I would say, come off the top of my mind, would be Killer Kowalski and Yukon Eric.
Yukon Eric?
Yeah, in the late 50s. He tore off, Killer Kowalski tore off Yukon Eric's ear.
Really?
Tore it right off his head. And that thing went on for years. And
why are you laughing?
I would say John Studd and Ken Patera with Andre the Giant. That's got to go down. I wouldn't want to be in that place, Bill.
You know, Lou, I'm appalled by the fact, I've just been thinking here and listening to you. I can't believe that you're answering to Cyndi Lauper and David Wolf and others.
Can I explain to you why?
You used to be a man that stood by himself.
Yes, can I explain why, Bill? Just one minute.
Why are you answering to these people
Well, I'll
now?
tell you why I'm answering to them. Perhaps, I've seen the light. I'm not trying to go down as a goody-goody guy, but being involved with David Wolf and with Cyndi Lauper, and also having Hulk Hogan at Studio 54 come to my side and say, Captain, thanks for trying to help raise money for MS. It made me feel good. It made me feel that all that I've done in the past was wrong. And maybe the association with the Ken Pateras and the Bobby Heenans and the John Studds and the Johnny Valiants and the so forth and the Orndorffs, maybe that was wrong. When I needed help at Madison Square Garden before 28,917 people, Dick Clark presenting with Cyndi Lauper, giving me an award for being a humanitarian and raising money for MS, who came to my side? A little 105-pound girl, Cyndi Lauper, dove for me as Roddy Piper kicked her off, and this man next to me, 148 pounds soaking wet, tried to help me. The only to him was slammed and pulled muscles from his spine.
What happened? Someone hit you over the head?
Yes, the award that I was
Explain what
given.
happened.
I was given an award by Cyndi Lauper, a gold record and a platinum record. Roddy Piper had the audacity to come into that ring, take the award, claiming that he made the career of Cyndi Lauper, hit me over the head. I was hurt severely, and as I did that, he came down and started kicking me and stomping me. Cyndi Lauper, a 105-pound woman, came to my aid, and this fella, 148 pounds. So where were the Ken Pateras? Where were the John Studds? Where were all my friends? Where were they?
We happen to be on the West Coast.
No one around. But who came to my aid right here? So yes, I've had a change of heart.
Well, if you want to be on American Bandstand, that's your business.
Well, let's
I mean, I
maybe
could share less. What's it? Make a record, make it or break it.
No, well, I'll tell you, I don't want to be involved with you. That's one thing, Bobby Heenan.
Well,
I'll
that's
start off
fine.
with Terror.
You know, I used to admire you. I used to thought you were a man that had your own direction planned. You used to do your own thinking. But now it seems like you want to be on Bandstand.
No.
You like to be around Cyndi Lauper, Mr. Wolf. You like the recognition. You like those human
Yeah,
rights.
yes, I do.
Those 8-to-5 White Sox lifers out there, those clock punchers. You like them cheering you on. It seems like maybe you need that in life.
Yeah, it took a Cyndi Lauper and David Wolf, and when Hulk Hogan walked up and said, he said, big man, I never trusted you before. He said, you want to know something? He said, right now, he said, I see you trying. Well, you know something? That kind of made me open my eyes and look into light. I'm proud to say I'm a friend.
Well, this is
you want
like
to call it that.
Queen
Of
Fred.
the
Give him
man.
the refrigerator.
That's great, man.
I want to ask Big John a question. How do you feel about Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, he's a good world's champion. He's pretty competitive. I've had an opportunity to wrestle him a few times, and I gave him a run for his money. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, I can beat him. And he's big and he's strong. He's very competitive, and it's a good match. It's a real good match. And,
See, being the world's champion, you have something to your advantage. All he's got to do is keep the rules around to suit himself. He can get counted out. He can get disqualified. He can do a lot of things to
Not
keep
true.
that belt.
To keep the belt.
Sure, but Stud has to come and beat him. All he's got to do is keep it. It's a lot
Hogan
easier.
had the same problem before he became the champion. He had the same odds to overcome.
Oh,
And
that's
he
right,
overcame
that's
it.
right. He was
So why are
lucky.
you making excuses?
And he became
Not
the world
making
champion.
who did he beat?
Yeah.
Who did he
He
beat?
beat the Iron
The
Sheik.
Iron Sheik.
Defeated
Iron
and humiliated
Sheik?
the Iron Sheik, yes.
Where is the Iron Sheik today?
not our day to watch him, Bill.
After
I'm
Hulk
worried about
Hogan
this.
got
We're
through.
not babysitters.
Well, Bill the Iron Sheik is still around. He's still wrestling, but after the Hulk got through with him, he's kind of took a couple of pegs out of him.
Whatever happened to Gorgeous George? I know he died.
He bought the farm.
He bought the farm. How long did his career last? And I mean, there's a guy who really was one of the major stars early on in wrestling.
20 years maybe?
Yeah.
I really don't know anything about Gorgeous George. That's kind of long.
Died with coronary thrombosis, Bill,
And,
at the age of 43.
So I don't know anything about his career except from what I heard from other old-time wrestlers that he did. He actually was he actually was one of the first men to put wrestling on the
We'll
map,
put you down
and really in the public's
win
eye.
that game.
What about some of the as was acknowledged early on, right? There are a lot of theatrical gimmicks involved with wrestlers. They have different costumes and stuff like that. What are some of the more, for your personal point of view, distasteful ones that you see? I mean, you go in.
Oh, nothing, every man has to do what he can to get some attention, so I don't really pay much attention to those things.
Doesn't
So it
concern us.
doesn't, it doesn't really.
What are some of the things that people do then? I mean, I'd like you to kind of explain to the
Well,
audience.
Gorgeous George, for once, he had the bobby pins. Someone, in fact, mentioned to me yesterday, he used to throw bobby pins out, and some wrestlers carry roses to the ring, and they toss roses out to the people. Some people wear outlandish costumes,
Like what? What kind of costume?
tights with various colors on them, different colors, and real flashy robes, different
people
things
wear
like that.
masks.
So, yes, different things attract attention.
We're
But it all comes down to what you can do once the bell rings. What you do prior to that is fine, and what you do after is fine. But the most important part is what happens when the bell rings.
Professional wrestling has been copied by boxing, baseball, basketball, football, hockey. All
You mean it's promotional?
Yeah, and it has promotional aspects and the different color coordinations. Like my brother Jack Patera, he used to coach here at the New York Giants. He was the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks for 8 years. He was the NFL Coach of the Year in 1978, and like the Seattle Seahawks have little Seahawks emblems on their helmets. They have blue and gold or blue and silver coordinated uniforms. It's a flash. Like I wear sometimes a blue robe, a black robe, red and white, whatever the day is. John wears a black and red robe. Lou Albano has his
Black and blue rubber bands.
colorations.
Fighters do the same, Jerry Cooney and so forth, different type robes and all. There was color to it. There was color to professional wrestling. That's not.
All right, I'm going to take a break. We may have some more tape available, and we'll return right after this.